Today, a business helps people. A business helps people, and the bigger my business gets, the more people they get helped. And I want to really, be able to help as many people as humanly possible get in shape and believe in themselves. And no matter what I do, I want to be known as someone who just gave it his all and really fulfilled his mission, who was a man of faith to help inspire others to believe in themselves, to be the best versions of themselves through physical fitness, through mental fitness. Physical breeds the mental, but also, I want to be known as somebody who was a devout Christian and a man of Christ who, fulfilled the mission of God to help and serve people. That's kind of really what I want to be known as, and I take it day by day, but hopefully by the end of my life, I can do enough good in this world to again, at the end of the day, just be proud of myself.
That's powerful, brother. I think you're doing a great job.
Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Playbook podcast. I'm your host, Mason Goddard, and today we're filming our very first episode with our special guest here today, Riley Watkins. Riley, welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thank you, bro. Happy to be here.
So, I know a little bit about you, but for those that don't know, where'd you grow up here, and what was life like for you starting out?
Yeah, so I was originally born, Morgantown, West Virginia. When I was in third grade, moved to Wheeling. I went to Woodsdale, Wheeling Country Day School. Grew up in Wheeling since third grade. Went to Wheeling Central Catholic for high school, played football there. And then after high school, I went on to go play college football at Mercyhurst. And then while I was at Mercyhurst, I started my business, moved back home, and then started scaling my fitness business. And I'm finishing up school right now, while also continuing to run my online fitness coaching business right now.
So when you were growing up, were you always like the athletic kid, or did that develop later on as you got older?
Yeah, so I was kind of into sports when I was really young, but I really started getting into athletics and fitness when I was in third grade. So when I was in third grade, we moved here. I was kind of like overweight. I was kind of a fat kid. And I remember I went and played flag football when I first moved here. And they put me at center my first year. And I didn't like to be center because I was like, they put me at center because I was a fat kid. I remember that night, went to my mom, went home, and I was like, I don't want to be center, and like I don't want to be the fat kid. Like I want to carry the ball, play running backs. That's what I wanted to do. And she was like, well, you can, say that you want to be running back, but you're going to actually have to like put in the work and not be the fat kid if you want to do that. And she gave me her Sean T. I don't know if anybody knows Sean T. T25, Insanity, P90X. She gave me her Sean T CDs, and I woke up before school at 5 a.m. in third grade and started my first, working out for the first time. Did that, lost the weight. Next year, got to play running back, flag football, and then from there, got introduced to a strength coach, Josh Piles. Introduced me to CJ Goodwin, all the guys that I kind of grew up training with, and I trained with him for 12 years. And he kind of trained with me from 5th grade to college football, taught me a ton of stuff, helped me fall in love with strength and conditioning, helped me fall in love with fitness. And that's kind of just how I got into things in terms of athletics.
I trained with Josh a little bit too. He's a great dude.
Also. Awesome guys.
So what sports did you play growing up in high school and then into college?
Yeah, so I played football. I wrestled there for a little bit, basketball, but football was my main one. And then I ran track in high school as well.
Yeah, cool. What is one lesson that you kind of learned from sports as you were growing up that translated into your later life today?
Yeah, I would say the main thing would probably just be like work ethic. Like, with sports and football, I'm not a big guy. Like I'm 5'6", white dude. I'm not like some crazy athlete. So I think one thing that I took from football was, the work ethic that I needed to put in to be good, whether it was film, the weight room. That's why I fell in love with fitness so much, is because I saw the first time I ever worked out, I saw, wow, you put in the work in the weight room, you put in the work in the with fitness, the changes I made directly affected my success. And then in high school, being in the weight room, always just every edge I could get, it had to come through my own efforts. And when it came to the film room, studying the film, my huddle time on my screen was the number one app on my phone, just incessantly work, like always just trying to be the best I can be, lifting other people up to just try to be the best. I think I carried that over, and that's one reason when I was in college, when I thought about this, I'm like, the effort I'd put in for so many years with football, I was like, if I put this effort into anything else, I'm gonna be number one in the world.
So do you think sports helps develop maybe more of a mental toughness than people who don't play sports?
Yeah, I think it's a massive advantage. Everyone, like especially, and this is one thing I noticed, like, if anybody that I speak with is just uber successful, like playing sports, whether it's, you're a wrestler or a football guy, like the mental, resilience that I developed with football directly correlates to business. I think there's so many, if you can just literally, if you like the idea of like getting up after you fall down, like that's literally what we have to do in sports. And I think just the rejection and the coachability and the ability, I think as an athlete at least, to tolerate the rejection and, you know, the other team making fun of you and, you know, they're posting stuff about you on Twitter. I think that's so good for people mentally, because that's how it is in real life. And if you can't take criticism, you can't take coaching, well then you're never going to be successful at anything.
So you speak about rejection. Is there like a certain moment in your sports career where you maybe felt humbled, or you learned a life lesson? Like, is there anything specific that sticks out?
Yeah, I mean, I just think every year playing at Central, like, you know, my first year I was there, we won a state championship, and then 3 years after that, you know, we lost. And I think that's one thing that kind of humbled me. There's every year I'm like, we're going to win, like doing all this work, and then 3 years in a row you end up losing. I think it shows that, like, you know, nothing is given to you. There's no such thing as I deserve. And even, you know, with a playing time, there's no such thing as I deserve. There's no such thing as seniority. Like, you're either good or you're not good. You either win or lose. And no matter how you feel, like, it doesn't change the points on the board, you know?
So do you miss that competitive nature? And if so, like, how do you transfer that into your daily life too?
Yeah, so I don't necessarily miss it because I still have it, right? That's why I love business. I love entrepreneurship. I love fitness coaching, because I think I have even more of it now because I don't have to rely on a team. It's me. Every single day, lead, like, just go, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a perfect transition into your fitness coaching business. So what made you decide to start your fitness coaching business, and how exactly, like, did you start that?
Yeah, so I have always loved fitness ever since I got into strength conditioning, and I, for the longest time, wanted to be a strength coach. Before college, you know, when I was actually at Central, I was, you know, one of the guys that was running the team workouts. I was putting the workouts together for our team, putting us through workouts, putting the team through lifts, through strength conditioning. When I got to college, you know, and I was like, I'm going to go be a strength coach in the NFL or be a strength coach in, you know, wherever it is. But I think looking at the way that kind of business works with athlete training, if you're going to train athletes, then you're really talking to like parents and high school kids more so than like the NFL level. And if you wanted to play with the NFL level, that's great, but you're going to have to like be employed for NFL teams for like 20 years. I really did, like, especially this level of success that I wanted, I really liked, you know, at least from the little bit of success I had at Mercyhurst, I had a couple guys that allowed me to help them with their own like athlete coaching. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I did that, I was like, I really like this. But what really got me into the business I am right now, which is men's weight loss, is when I moved home after playing sports, I gained a little bit of weight. And then I was like, no, like, I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to be overweight. Like, I want to get back into great shape. And I got back in amazing shape. Lost 61 pounds in 5 months. My friend Trey from high school hit me up and said, Riley, like, I need your help. I need you to help me. Like, I saw your transformation. Like, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. He said, like, will you help me? He became my first weight loss client. Helped him lose 42 pounds in 4 months. You can see on my website, coachriles.com. You can go and see both of our transformations. And helped him with that. And he was like, Riley, like you changed my life, dude. Like, I got my old confidence.
That's actually my next question.
He said,
what's your first client?
He said, you changed my life. And literally, like, and that was the coolest thing. Nobody from football had ever told me I'd change their life. Nobody, like, you know me, from football, it's always like, play, do this, great, like, win, whatever. But I think it really, really hit me home when another person was like, you changed my life. Like, it changed my life to hear that. And then I remember when he said that, I was like, this is what I'm doing with my life. Like, there's nothing I would rather do than be able to help people and make a living doing it.
I've had a couple similar instances in my life, and it is such a fulfilling moment when somebody brings that to you. You know, there's really no better feeling than that as an entrepreneur, and being able to help people in the space. It's a great thing. So, in your entrepreneurial journey, what mistakes do you think you made early on that you might have learned from that helped shape you into your current position you're in life?
I would say the only, like, I guess, mistakes I probably had was, you know, I wouldn't take any of them back. I wouldn't take a single mistake back or try to say I should have done this different. I would have done all the same because I'm absolutely completely satisfied with where I'm at right now and, you know, what I'm doing. I absolutely love my business, and where I'm going and the trajectory we're on is amazing. But I would say some things I would look back, that some important lessons that I learned is, you know, you gotta surround yourself with the right people. You know, if you're around people, you know, they might have your best interest. Maybe your parents have the best interest for you. But, you know, a lesson in a life, I guess, philosophy that I have, you know, if I don't want their life, I'm not going to take that person's advice. You know what I mean? You gotta, if you know and you believe in what you do. For me, I really believe, you know, having people tell me I changed their life, I'm like, there's nothing I want to do but this. I got to focus on the main thing. You can't listen to the naysayers. You can't listen to the people say, oh, you should do this, or, oh, no, you should be more like this. It's like, no, their idea of you isn't your idea of you. And success to others, then they might be like, oh wow, this great opportunity. But if it's not your vision of success, then that's failure. Their vision of success might be failure. So I would say the lessons I would say is you got to surround yourself with people who are kind of on the same trajectory as you. You got to put yourself in the right environment. And you got to just be able to tolerate people saying, that's one thing from football I learned. You know what I mean? People are going to meme you online. They're going to send your post around and say, oh, can you believe this guy's posting this? It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I really believe in what I do. I believe in helping people. I believe I'm a Christian. I believe, it's God's mission for me to help and serve other people through fitness and help. I mean, I have fathers who've been able to play for their kids for the first time in 25 years without being out of breath. And I'm like, if you're going to hate on that, then shoot, I feel bad for you. I feel sorry for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's absolutely awesome. So you're speaking about transforming people.
Yeah.
What separates the people who want to transform their bodies from the ones who don't?
Oh, I would say, from all the clients that I work with, I would say having somebody there plays a big factor. And at the end of the day, I can't force anybody to do the workouts. I can't force you to eat different foods. But I would say one, thread that I've actually noticed that gets the best results is when men that I work with have a bigger purpose than themselves. I believe if you're in business for the money of it, or you're in fitness because I just want to be in shape, I think if you're trying to get in shape because you want to be healthier for your family and be around for your kids longer, that guy's going to get in shape. Or if you want to, for me, I want to help people. I want to change the world. I want to our nation is 70% of the population is obese. We have 45% of our population is obese. Yeah. The number one killer in this nation is not old age, it's heart disease, and it's a preventable thing. And I'm just helping save the world, helping save men, being better fathers, business owners, people, leaders in the community. It's like I have a bigger purpose than just business. And you know what I mean? It's like, and I think that's something that I've noticed, especially with fitness, is if you have a really higher purpose of, wanting to be better for yourself, your team. If you're a business owner, you want to be the best business owner for your team so you can help pour into your team and your community and your family. Like that's the people who always have great testimonials because it's just bigger than them.
I like the one quote, without purpose you perish.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I live by, and I absolutely agree with you on that. So what's one of the biggest myths that people think about weight loss? What would you say that might be?
One myth that I see going around right now is anything with the seed oils or big pharma. I don't think there's any big boogeyman out there forcing you to eat Oreos. I don't think there's any big boogeyman out there poisoning you. You can get in shape, or healthy food's so expensive. These companies, it's like, at the end of the day, a lot of it is personal accountability, hormones, anything, to deflect my fault. And I think a lot of times if you can just get to a place where you're like, you know what, it's my fault. I ate food and I gained the weight. I haven't been working out. And if I looked at my week, if I looked at everything I put in my mouth, would I really look at all that and say, no, I should be losing weight, but it's because of other things that I'm not. I think a lot of it is you have to get that self-accountability to be aware. You got to look at what you're doing and be honest with yourself. And I would say if people just did that, a lot of the myths would disappear because it's so easy to say, oh, it is the seed oils and it is big pharma and it is, that's one thing I wouldn't agree with the current administration in our country saying it's these companies and it's the seed oils the reason you're fat. If we replace all the seed oils and all the Oreos, if we replaced it with grass-fed butter and beef tallow, it tastes good. You know what I mean? It tastes good. It's so Oreos are good. And I think a lot of it is you need to make your environment just serve your fitness goals. Don't blame other people. Don't blame anything else. It's my fault, but it's also your fault when you change it and get in shape.
So you're speaking a lot about mental awareness.
Yeah.
How much of fitness is physical versus how much is actually mental?
99% mental. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of trainers out there who will preach, and especially people online, like all this fancy, jargon around fitness. And, being somebody who's an exercise physiology guy, sports science, who does it as a high level, I know the bodybuilders, I read the books, I'm all in that world, you could make the best plan in the world. There's 3 elements to fitness. There's the training, there's the nutrition, but then there's that accountability piece. But you can have the best program, the best diet in the world, map it out, all your macros. But if you're going to start tomorrow, every day for a year, and you're always waiting for tomorrow, it doesn't matter how good your plan is, you got to do it. And I would say for 99% of the people that I work with, like right now, you go on ChatGPT and you can get a program out right there. Boom, done. You can know what to do in 24 hours. Hey, what macros should I eat? What calories should I eat? It's like, oh shit, now I got to do it. And that's usually kind of where I come in as a coach is like, help really get you a program that's customized to you. And then another thing is, adjust it over time. But a lot of it is just being there, put you in a scenario where like, no, hey, I got this coach, I got this program set up, I invested financially, I invested mentally, like I got to guarantee where I'm gonna hit my goal. And like now we're actually gonna know exactly what to do. We're gonna do it for 6 months. And the main thing people need to do is not learn what to do, but actually build habits around what to do. And if you're trying to build a habit and do it every day for the rest of your life, well, it can't be too complex, it's gotta be simple.
So how have you seen what you do for people change their confidence in their daily life or change their life?
It's unbelievable. I got one guy, Trey, the first person I ever told me is like, dude, like the way I used to be, with football in high school and being the man, feeling so confident, and then I lost all that and then getting it back. He's like, the way I approach girls, the way that I feel when I look at myself in the mirror. I have dads, again, who literally have been able to play with their kids for the first time in 25 years without going out of breath. I got one guy, Greg from San Francisco. Shout out my guy, Greg. He go to the doctor for the first time and he can't even remember how long, and he gets positive feedback. Your blood pressure's down. Like you're living longer for your children. You know what I mean? That's so impactful for me because it's like literally I'm prolonging the lifespan of business leaders on this show. Like you can't beat that. I've had a couple of people that have came to me like, Riley, I was really depressed before this, and I didn't know if I was going to be here now.
So,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be able to help people actually come over their depression like that.
That's powerful.
And I got people that I work with that are in the addiction space. They work with people every day that have alcohol or drug addictions, and that's what they do as their full-time job. And losing weight and taking care of their own health, they're like, I can better serve alcoholics and drug addicts and help these people like take control of their lives because I have more energy to pour into this purpose and this mission that I have for my life, and I can just do it at a whole nother level that I just didn't even know was possible.
So you spoke about gaining 60 pounds, right?
Yes.
What did your life look like? Like, how did you reshape your habits, and how did that get started for you to reshape your mindset into like losing all of that weight and getting where you are at this point in time?
Yeah, so when I came back from college, obviously I was not balling when it came to my business. I was just like getting started with my business, had a little bit of success. I knew I definitely didn't want to try to pursue the NFL. And I think that was the switch for me, is like when I wasn't going to try to do the football thing full time, I was like, well, it's hard for me to really care about something where it's like, no, this is my life path. You know what I mean? Because it's like if there's an end in mind, then I need to be all in. You know what I mean? So I was like, when I'm not all in with football, I gotta be all in with business. But when I moved back, I didn't really have much direction. I was the athlete. I was athlete for 12 years. I was a fitness athlete. But then now moving back, not an athlete. Football was a lot of my day. I lost that. With my business, I don't really have that. I don't have a big business. I have a couple clients that I don't even like, the early stages. These guys are like, just help me out. I'm like, all right, let's do this. It's different people, no real big business. And coming back and being around my environment of people that might be like, hey, Riley, like, what are you going to do with your life? What are you going to do in 4 years? And me not even knowing, it really did weigh on me. And I can, there for a little bit, I'm like, man, do I even want to do this business? And there was a small period of time where I thought I wanted to go to law school. And I think being confused about what I want to do with my life really started to affect me mentally to not have like a purpose. With football, it's like purpose, NFL, and, coming back, and also too, being an athlete, you don't have to track your food as much. And that was one thing, I wasn't tracking my food as much as I probably should. You combine that with all this other stress, all these things going, you overeat, and it just kind of got out of hand. And then I remember my moment, everyone that I work with, everyone that I help lose weight has a moment. They all have a moment where it's like, something needs to change. Maybe you go to the doctor and they're like you're at a heart risk attack. You're at risk for heart disease. So for me, it was when I went on vacation with the girls at the time, I, looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, dude, like you're overweight now. It's not like you're bulking. You're overweight. Like you are not an image of this discipline that you preach to the clients that you're trying to get. And I was like, you need to change. We need to actually do this. It was the first time in my life since I was in third grade that I've been overweight. So I've lost weight twice in my life. And the one habit that really helped me was just being really accurate with my food track. I was already lifting. I never stopped working out. Like I was always working out, lifting in that game. But it was really the nutritional side of things and understanding the nutritional and food logging and fiber and really, really having to get very, very knowledgeable and specific into my nutritional kind of programming there really helped me. And also helped me really understand the pain and the issues that all my clients that I now serve go through. That's why I'm so passionate about helping men lose weight, because I was who lost weight, and I understand exactly what they're going through there. And I really got really specific on my nutrition. Obviously, with the training side of things, had to work some different style of programming to best prioritize weight loss, and then did that, and then, helped train. And then just kept helping other people, and I've refined the process more and more and more. And then now we got to, we have a conveyor belt. I mean, the system is so dialed in, and the structure, the check-ins, like it's a complete system, and everyone that comes in the program, like, they crush it.
So you spoke about your identity, like it was really wrapped up in football, and transparently, like for me, sports was my entire life growing up.
Yeah. When
that is finally taken away from you, and you realize you're not going professional, you're sitting there like, what the hell do I do with my life? How did you shift your identity into taking it from sports into the business world? Like, what was the biggest step that you took to get out of that?
I'd say one of the biggest things is, understanding that I'm not like, it's obviously having a purpose, right? And I'm a Christian, so like kind of shifting into my faith. I'm a man of God, praying, God, not God make me successful, but God, put me through the things that I need to go through to become who I want to become. Put me through the trials, the tribulations. I don't want you to give me success. I don't want to be handed anything. I want to go through what I need to go through to create my own success. And, for me, I really leaned on the clients that I had, leaning on Trey. I mean, my clients might not realize it, but I care so much about them. They're my life. You know what I mean? That's all. Being able to just pour into people and help people, like, maybe in a sense saved my life. Not that I was depressed or anything, but I didn't have a purpose. And having people trust me to help them, it gave me a purpose. And I leaned into my persona. I needed to become Coach Riles. I needed to become Coach Riley, and that was how I leaned in. I had some experience there, with football and helping people and being a leader, but I really just leaned into the persona of business owner, Coach Riles. And, I was like, this is what I'm going to do with my life. And, leaning into my faith and just over time really pouring into clients, seeing the transformations I can help them go through. It just really, really was reaffirming for me to be like, no, this is what I want to do with my life. Like and at this point, like there's nobody on earth that can tell me that I'm not going to be the best fitness coach. There's nobody on earth can tell me that my mission is not like I have that purpose. I built that purpose because I've just seen what can be done when you just care for people and pour into people, and we got it going now.
And you can't fake that. It's either you have it or you don't.
Yeah.
What are some habits that you absolutely refuse to skip on a daily basis? Like, what are some non-negotiables?
Yeah, I would say it's not necessarily things that I do, it's the things that I don't do. You know what I mean? In a perfect day for me, you got nothing planned. It's I can wake up at whatever time, full night's sleep, make sure I get good sleep. That's one habit. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't party, I don't hang out with losers, I don't gamble, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things I don't do. I don't eat junk food all the time. I'm not doing any smoking weed. I'm not doing all these things. There's like a lot of the things I'm not doing. All that's left is my success and my dreams. You know what I mean? All that's left is to work on this vision and my clients. I wake up and all I have is work with my clients, share my message, document the process with all my people. And I think one habit that I would give is, if it doesn't serve your goals, why is it in your life? Now that's one big one. It's not there's not things I do. There's no routine that I have. It's the things that I don't do, and all that leads is the work to be done and my dreams to be achieved.
So you seem like a super motivated individual. I would say that'd probably be right.
Yeah.
But we're all human. Is there any point like in time where you feel unmotivated, and how do you stay disciplined when you do lack that motivation sometimes?
Yeah, and I would say this is big for fitness too, because this idea that we're all going to be David Goggins all day and yell around, I'm so disciplined, it comes back to the second thing. If all that's left is the work to be done, it's, you know what I mean? You know what it is for my day? It's either sit there and do nothing or work. You know what I mean? So I think it's so frictionless for me to work when I get good sleep. I'm not actively hindering my success. And when I wake up, I have a great night's sleep. I work for the first 4, 8, 12 hours of the day. All I'm doing is working on my dreams, working on some success, talking to my clients, doing everything I can. There's days where like I might not get good sleep, or maybe whatever it is, but I always I'm doing things. It's once you get that momentum, and here's what I'll say. It's like, if you might not understand it, but when you have people that you're literally changing their lives, I believe it's just bigger than me. I'm like, there's nothing else I would rather do than sit and work all day and help people. And there's days where I don't maybe want to do my check-ins, but it's like, you got to just do it. It's like with football, you might not like the gym, but you love looking at yourself in the mirror. You don't like eating the right food, but it's like, I love the process and I love seeing the transformations with people. And I just know that I'm willing to just do so much work because I really just believe in the outcome and the purpose and my mission. And, I try to just remove everything that could hinder my success. And I think getting good sleep is super important. But what I would say is like, yeah, there's going to be days where I'm not fired up. And I would say like focus and success itself is not very like fired up. I'm not like motivated. I would say like when I am working all day, it's very quiet, peaceful, calm, full night's sleep. And I would say it's just like consistently just having like reaffirming environment, and then just putting yourself in a place where you're not filled with haters or doubters. It's like me, it's my goals and my clients and, my own vision for my life. And every day I just wake up and I crush it, So my answer might not be that good. Like my answer is that how do you stay motivated? It's like, I just get it done. I'm there. I don't have an answer for how do I become motivated. I am, like,
it's hard to not stay motivated.
It's how can I not work towards people's changing their lives? I've had people tell me I've changed their life. Like if that doesn't get you fired up, nothing will.
Exactly.
Nothing will.
Well, hey guys, we're going to take a quick break, present the sponsor for today's episode, and we'll be right back. Today's episode of the Playbook podcast is sponsored by Valley Visuals, the Valley's leader in sports media. Not only do we do sports, but we're a full-service media brand offering anything from weddings to senior photos. To save 10% off on your next session, use promo code podcast at checkout. Once again, that's promo code podcast at checkout. Thank you, and let's get back to the show. All right, guys, welcome back to the Playbook podcast. We're here with Riley Watkins once again. Got a great conversation going so far, and happy to pick it back up with you. So we left off with, some of your personal habits and your daily lifestyle. Got one more question for you. What is something you had to sacrifice to get to where you want to be in life today?
Yeah, alcohol, parties, a lot of dating. I would say, when I was at Mercyhurst, obviously you get some party in there, being on the college football team, but that's one thing, even being in college right now, like, never see me at a party, you never see me at the bar, you never see me, like, I'm working every day, I'm working, I'm getting to it, but I don't think it's a sacrifice. I don't really think it's a sacrifice because it's not a no to them, it's a yes to me. I don't think of it as a sacrifice because I get to hit my goals. I get to work. It's not I have to work and I can't go drink booze and get drunk every night. Like I don't want to do those things. It's like it's not a sacrifice to me. It's a yes. It's a yes. To others it might be a sacrifice, but to me it's such a yes to me and my goals. I don't view it as a loss. It's just a win. If it's not, it's not bad if you want to drink. Great. I just choose my goals. And hey, maybe to you, what I do all day is boring and not success to you. But for me, I have so much more fun having other people tell me, you changed my life, in building and growing and seeing who I'm becoming and the lessons. And I think it's so much, there's just nothing I would rather do. And it's so much fun to me. I don't think there's anything in the world more stimulating, more fun, more fulfilling than what I do. And I would say to others, those are things that I haven't done. I'm not, drinking and all those things, but to me, it's a win because I love what I do every single day. I have the most fun ever.
So if most people might not know out there, you're 21 years old.
Yep.
Most people at 21 are not thinking about making a political run, right?
Yeah, yep.
What made you, at your age, want to make a political run and run for office?
Yes. So a couple months ago, a couple people in that world, when I was thinking about going to law school, I worked for Bill Flanagan, George Sidropoulos. They own a personal injury firm. And Bill ran for the House of Delegates District 4, and I helped him with his campaign that he got elected with. So he probably, had seen me, go from no business to where I'm at now in my business, building my business, all these clients, just crushing it. And he was like, Riley, I think what you do with your business is so great. And I think, you're here, you're in school, you got a whole nother year of school, you're going to be here. And I think you would be a great person to run for the District 5 seat. If you win, it's not like you have to commit your whole life to it. It's 60 days. Outside of that, it's kind of part-time work, so you can still run your business. But I think with the way the state's at, the West Virginia is the most obese state out of all 50 states. We're one of the most drug-addicted states out of all 50 states. I've lost 2 people that I know to mental health who killed themselves from suicide last year in West Virginia. young people are leaving the state. All my friends say I need to get out of the valley, I need to leave. And I think a lot of people leave, but they don't know why they're leaving. They don't actually think it's possible to build a business, and they think they have to relocate, and that's going to magically make them understand how to build a business. And I think young people are leaving. Our state is not healthy, and when you look at West Virginia, especially this area, there's a lot of businesses that have left from back in the day. And my whole slogan is make Wheeling great again. When you talk to your grandparents or your parents, or if you're somebody that's above the age of 40 or 50, you remember what it was like to come to downtown Wheeling. You remember what it was like to come to Wheeling and have businesses line. I live in the building. I live in the Stone and Thomas building. We're in the Stone and Thomas building right now. This was once the Stone and Thomas department store. You look at all the business that used to be here, it was lines of people. And I want to get back to that, where businesses stay in Wheeling. I want young people to believe it's possible. I want the trades, welding, the natural gas here. We're sitting on a gold mine here. We're sitting on a gold mine of young people. We're sitting on a gold mine of natural resources. We're sitting on a gold mine of an area that was once the capital of the state with the river. We have so much opportunity, and we're not using it. In our state, I think half our state being unhealthy, people talk about costs. If we fixed obesity overnight, well, people's healthcare costs would go down. They would have more money, and it would directly affect our economy. So those are my three big areas, which is health, small business, and keeping young people here. And when I think of who I am, and if there's going to be anybody that's going to be able to go in there and make positive change, I think it's me. I don't see a career in politics. It's not something. I'm not trying to be a career politician. I have my business. It's what I want to do with my life. But I think for the time being, if there's anybody that's going to go in there and be able to actually put in policy to have the best interest of the people in mind, who better than a young person who's not going to be, doesn't want to be a career politician and take money from lobbyists? I'm going to go in there and do the right thing for this city, because I don't need other people's money. I have a business. I want to run my business, but I actually believe in what I want to do, which is help people get healthy, help young people stay here and build businesses. And I want to go into the state and actually pass policy that's going to benefit the citizens, not sit here and make donors happy. And that's kind of why I want to run.
Yeah, you're exactly right, dude. You hear a lot of the older folks around this area talk about, man, it used to be so great around here. Our population and every surrounding area around here was like double what it used to be. And now it's
not a big deal to come to Wheeling anymore.
Yeah. And we need people that are young like us that are going to drive this area forward and regrow what it used to be, and maybe even make it better.
Absolutely. I think there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people, if you look at our politicians, and I've seen it firsthand. If you look at so many politicians, you know what they do when they're not being politicians? They're full-time lobbyists. They're full-time people who sit down there and try to get people to vote and all this stuff. It's like, I don't think that shouldn't be what our politicians do often. I think politics, our government, should not be something where people make careers out of. They try to make careers out of taking money based on special interest groups. Someone like me, I don't need anybody's money. I have a business. I'm self-funded. I have like a couple $100 in donations from my parents and people that I know sending me $50 here and there. I don't need your money. I don't want your money. I want to go in there and do the right thing for the people of my city and my state. And I think we need more people like that who don't plan to make a career out of it, and to go in there to actually no matter, I don't care if anybody says, oh, you got to vote this way. I don't care if the whole legislature disagrees with me. I'm going to vote based on what I think is right to represent my district the right way.
Do you think, with you being so young, do you ever run into the problem that you have to try harder to earn people's respect, or do you think anybody would look down upon you because you're a younger individual? Have you battled with that at all?
Yeah, and I'd say it's like, oh, you're too young. Well, I think the people down there are too old. Whatever they see as a negative, I see it as a positive. You're going to say, oh, you're too young. But then you're going to say, if I was super old, they'd be like, oh, he's too old. We need young people. So whatever it is they think is the bad thing, oh, you're young, you're not in politics, you have a business on the side, so you're not going to be able to pay as much attention. Oh, you know what I mean? You went to Catholic school. It's like, of course I'm young. I'm in there because I want to keep young people here, and who better to keep young people here than a young person? I want to, oh, you have a business. Yeah, I'm a personal trainer. I help people get healthy. I believe in what I do. Who better to help people get healthy than somebody whose whole career and his whole life is dedicated to helping people get healthy? You know what I mean? Who better to advocate for, for small business than a small business owner? It's like everything, who better, it's like everything they're going to say that's a bad thing is exactly what I think is my biggest strength.
That's a strong message, brother.
Yeah.
That's hard to argue with.
Yeah.
So how has your athletic and entrepreneurial background helped shape you for leadership in this position? Yeah,
well, like with football, you have the opposing team, and there's no, I don't think there's anything, in terms of like, oh, one side versus the other. I think one thing that fitness has really helped me with is, there's no one way to diet. There's no one way to train. I think there's always truth on both sides of the aisle, and especially for me running as a Republican, I think there's some things I agree with the Democrats. I think, you got to see truth on both sides and come to a happy medium. And then with football, I think that the best thing that's prepared me for is I can tolerate the noise. Oh, you hate me? Oh, I think there was a Facebook post, he's running as a Republican. All it is, young kid running to help people get healthy and help his state and his city and keep young people here. He wants to make a difference. He's a Nazi. You know what I mean? It's like people are going to hate. There's noise. I mean, there's people commenting, you're a career politician. I'm like, didn't I already say my goal is not to do this long term? It's like,
you just started a couple months ago.
Exactly. A career politician, you're still in school business. Here he is. He's a Nazi. And it's like all this stuff. It's like with sports, it's the same way. All the people in the stands at the Pittsburgh Steelers game say, the best players in the entire world in football, that guy sucks. It's the people in the stands, the noise, the crowd. You can tolerate it, you can get it out there, because at the end of the day, as a quarterback, as a person on the football team, you don't care about the crowd, you don't care about the noise. You're going to do the right thing for your team to go out there and win. And that's exactly how I view this campaign.
And one thing I can't stand is there's so much division. It's like They paint a picture on you if you're right or left or center. You're allowed to be a Republican and still agree with the Democrats on some stuff, or vice versa. Just because you have an opinion one way doesn't mean you should be painted as something that you aren't. And there's another thing about speaking, like common sense. There's a lot of common sense ideals that most people on either side would agree with. And I feel like the points you're bringing up are pretty hard to argue on either side.
It's bipartisan. I'm running, all my issues are bipartisan. Before I ran for politics, you go on my page, you don't see politics. If you talk to me, I don't talk about politics, because at the end of the day, being healthy, running a business, and believing in yourself as a young person, these are bipartisan issues. These are like both sides want this. And I think if you go on Twitter, you go on Facebook, that's not how 99% of people believe. What you see on Facebook is the people who are vocal. And that's why you see it. Most people, they to be honest, they don't care. They're worried about their own lives. All right. What you see on Facebook isn't reality. People are so extreme, but that's what gets clicks. That's what gets views. I don't blame them. On the news stations, you're like, get you engaged, right? That's the whole goal. Get you engaged. So I can't blame people for being polarizing, because that's what gets clicks. That's what gets views. That's what gets people to sign up for the news stuff and spend all day reading the articles, which is the whole entire goal of the news, is it gets you to read the paper. Of course, if it's polarized, you're going to click. So I don't blame them at all. I think
I'll be out of business if you know.
If every single one of these papers was like, maybe, and then both sides, and it's like, no, this happened. I don't blame them.
So what does good leadership look like to you?
I would say, I think when a lot of people think of leadership, they think of somebody like telling other people what to do. In my experience, a lot of it is just setting the example and understanding where people are. And what I've learned with fitness is like leadership doesn't come from berating anybody, doesn't come from trying to overpower people on the football field or in fitness. None of my clients when I tell them to do this, they know I do it. They know I live it. On the football field, when I tell my teammates, watch film, we have to work harder to go in the weight room, they know I'm working out. They know I'm watching film. And when you just set the example, I think that gets the trust of a lot of people. I think if you just are really out there and living exactly what you're saying, I think that's what the best leadership is. Leadership is not top down, it's together. And that's if you actually want to lead, you have to lead from the front. You can't tell people, because here's the thing, if you point people where to go, then you're leading from the back. If you lead people, you're leading. I don't think telling people where to go is leadership. I think it's just you're from the back. You're not actually with them. I think if you want to actually be with people, you have to be on their team. It's a team. You know what I mean? It's not. It's less, because leadership is less than a coach telling you do this, run this play. If a coach says that, but there's no team leaders, then the team doesn't win. Yeah, you have to have somebody that's with you, who understands it, who's been there, and gets it. You know what I mean? That's really what I've seen.
Captain of the football team, he's out there making the plays with you, but he's in the trenches right with you.
Yeah. And if I was super fat and I was telling you have to do this and eat this way, you'd be like, I'm not gonna. This guy's not gonna lead me. But you see that I live exactly what I say. And if you sat here and you watched the day in my life, everything that I said on this video, you would see it happen in real time. And I think that's what leadership is really just being who you say you are. And I think people can sense that.
So I think I know the answer to this question, but do you think more younger people should get into politics?
I think it's kind of up to their choice. I think if they want to be in politics, they're welcome to get in politics, but I think there's a reason they don't, is because I'm in a unique scenario. I think a lot of young people don't even know what they want to do with their lives, let alone get into politics. So I think I'm in kind of a unique scenario where like I really have a business. I know exactly what I want to do with my life. And I'm in a very, very unique and lucky and blessed position where I'm able to run. I think people get into politics at a later stage because they've already seen success and then they want to run, which is why a lot of politicians are older. Look at Trump. He became a billionaire. It takes a long time. Then you get into politics, or someone like even Biden, who's still old. And he spent his whole life in politics to get to that high level. But I think even at my level, I think, it's kind of up to people. If you're young and you're a good leader, whether you're young or old, I think, I can respect good leadership. But I think young people, what they should do is they should believe in themselves. They should get into business. They should get into politics. Whatever it is that you can do, I think if you're going to be the best at it, you take the shot. That's what I would say is, I think young people maybe should be maybe, but I think if there's somebody in there that's going to go out there and do the work, then they don't need anybody to tell them to get into politics. They're going to do it because they're savages.
Yeah. So let's dive into more of your personal philosophy. Do you feel like your desire to win is more based on your actual desire to win or fear of failure?
I think I think it's a little bit of both with people. Obviously I think when I look at why I'm maybe motivated, it's like, maybe I would say, maybe not fear, but it's like, I think if I just stop today and stop doing anything and stop working, it's like, okay, I could just be average, but I think that does scare me. You know what I mean? I think I want to be successful, but I think it's a little bit of both. I think if you have something to run to, but you also hey, I don't want to be over here. I think it's like I think they did a study on this, hyper successful people. Not saying I'm one of those people, but they did a study on billionaires, really successful people. It's there's a couple things they had humongous goals, right? They thought they were better than other people because they thought they deserved more. They're like, I deserve more. I need to get here, I have to get there, but they also thought they weren't good enough. It was so weird. They thought they were better than everybody, but they thought they weren't good enough. So they have this I need to get to the best, but I'm not good enough. I have to get better and better and better. So I think that's one thing for me, what pushes me. I don't necessarily think I think I really have a purpose to grow, and I think, what am I gonna do if I'm not fulfilling my purpose? It's I know exactly what I want to do. I know exactly how to get there. I've went through the mental rejection and the self-doubt and other people's doubt, and I've got to a place where nobody can tell me that what I'm doing is not the correct. But nobody can get in my way of being the #1 fitness coach in the world. Nobody can stop me. So what am I going to do? Sit here and watch Netflix? You know what I mean? So it's what else am I going to do? And I think the idea, if I know I can get there. So it's if I know I can get there, the only thing stopping me is me. So let's go.
Brother, preach it.
Yeah, so let's go.
So speaking of you, what is one thing that you yourself are still working on today?
I think everything. I want to get better in every regard. And I want to be the best coach. Obviously, I don't have a ton of full-time employees. So one thing I have to get good with is, I would say, maybe handing responsibility eventually. I'll have to, when I get employees, I'll have to be able to maybe hand them, some of the coaching, because obviously I can't do everything. So I have to, maybe when it comes to content or sales or coaching, that's one thing I don't have a ton of experience. So I had a couple employees for a time, and just part-time doing some leasing work, not necessarily a full-time employee, but I had what are they called? Not vendors, but
independent contract.
Yeah, you kind of working with people assistants or whatever that you pay by pay by the hour, but it didn't work out. And I think one thing, some things that I want to improve on is definitely going to be hiring. That's one thing I'm gonna have to get better at. I'm trying to think, because there's definitely, everything. I want to be the better coach. Everything. What can I improve in my business? What can I improve in my personal life? I think there's a lot of room for growth, and just being focused. There's a million things you can do as you become more successful. More opportunities present themselves. Maybe one day they're going to say, "Oh, I could do this business." So I think that's one thing that I have learned a lot is focus. I don't want to. I know I'm running for office right now, and I'm going to do my best to get in there and do the best thing I can. But at the same time, you got to stay focused on what's the main thing. You know what I mean? I know I'm not going to make it a career. I'm not going to let it take my focus from the real mission. And I think the politics can complement it, but focus is a big one. I would say that I really want to make sure that I continue to improve on and maintain, because if you're not focused and you got 10,000 different things you're doing, again, saying yes to that is a no to your goals. So I think that's one area I would say I definitely want to, I could probably, I would say I don't have focus, but that's one area where I need to be cognizant that I don't spread myself too thin, because then you don't actually give enough you have 100%, you live 100%. Every percent away from the number one thing is a percent away from the number one thing, right?
And we were kind of talking off camera about like delegating tasks to others. If you swamp yourself and try to be Superman, and transparently, I do a lot of that. Yeah. I'm just trying to be Superman and do everything I can. It can actually be your own worst enemy rather than helping you move forward. So
yeah, because if you got 100%, right, and you're 50-50, well, if you're 100% task A and they're 100% task B, 100% of them is better than 50% of you, because especially if that's kind of what they do,
Yep. So if you can speak to 16-year-old Riley, what do you think you would tell him, and what advice would you give him?
Do the exact same shit you already did, because I'm exactly proud of who I am today.
That's the best.
That's what I would say.
Answer you could give, bro.
Because I know I'm proud of who I am today, and I wouldn't change a single thing about my life, because it landed me here on this podcast, fulfilling my mission and being, a man of faith who's on a mission to help other people and be the best version of himself every single day. I wouldn't change a single thing.
So, what's the legacy that you would like to leave here in this community or here in your life? What legacy do you want to leave behind?
I would say I just want to be somebody that, especially with what I want to do with my business, is I want to help people get in shape. I want to be healthy. If you think of like a huge mission, like imagine the impact I can make in helping people, with obesity and mental health, and helping people like believe in themselves. I think that, like, if I thought about what I want to accomplish in my life, is, again, I really want to help people. And as a business, I think a lot of people think a business is like, oh, you want to make money, but at the end of the day, a business helps people. A business helps people, and the bigger my business gets, the more people they get helped. And I want to really, be able to help as many people as humanly possible get in shape and believe in themselves. And no matter what I do, I want to be known as someone who just gave it his all and really fulfilled his mission, and was a man of faith to help inspire others to believe in themselves, to be the best versions of themselves through physical fitness, through mental fitness. Physical breeds the mental, but also, I want to be known as somebody who was a devout Christian and a man of Christ who, fulfilled the mission of God to help and serve people. And that's kind of really what I want to be known as. And I take it day by day, but hopefully by the end of my life, I can do enough good in this world to again, at the end of the day, just be proud of myself.
That's powerful, brother. I think you're doing a great job.
Appreciate you, bro.
Absolutely. So let's get into our last segment. We're going to do a couple rapid fire questions for you.
Yes.
Morning or night workouts?
Probably night. Probably night workouts.
I'm struggling with that one. I don't know which one I like better.
I would say, like, in a perfect world, if I had nothing on my calendar, I would love to get up, have a slow morning, have like a sick workout, and then have brunch. But I got shit to do, bro. So if I get all my stuff done and then go work out in the evening, I like to go work out in the evening, because it's like I got all this stuff going on, just smoke it at the end of the day and clear my head.
Cardio or lifting?
Lifting. Lifting is cardio if you lift hard enough.
So that's right. Favorite cheat meal?
Man, a lot of people ask me this question, and I don't really have too many cheat meals. Let me think of this. This is a good one. Yeah. One food that I really like is, and if you live in Wheeling, the wood-fired pizza company.
Yes.
My guy Marcus Rector is my boy. They run that. That's like, if I had to just, that's one thing, like, I could crush that. There's no real like nutritional goals there, and that's one thing. If that's sick.
What is one book everybody should read?
Oh man, this is so, the Bible, bro. You should read the Bible. In terms of like any book, if you read the Bible, like, you're gonna get a lot of life lessons in there. And I'm not gonna force my religion on you, but that's been a book that's impacted me a lot. Being a man of faith, I think that's gonna be a good groundwork. But if I had to give you like a tactical book, one book that's a good one, it's so generic, but like How to Win Friends and Influence People is a really good book. And I think if you can talk to people and speak to people, I'm not saying it's the reason I can communicate so well, but that's a book that's really good no matter what you do. If you can just like put other people first and talk about other people and be interested in them, as opposed to sitting there and talking about you, I think that can serve a lot of people. I think that book's a good book.
Absolutely. People like to be heard.
Yeah, and you can take action off that book. Don't read stuff to theorize. Like, you want to read stuff that you actually do.
One habit everybody should start tomorrow.
One habit you should start tomorrow. Cut people out of your life who don't serve your goals. So I think, you know, if you have nothing else, and cut things out of your life. Remove. I think if you can build the habit of removing things, then all that's left is what you need to do, and then you'll be successful.
One word that describes you best.
Intense.
I like it.
Last question. Where do you think you'll be in 10 years?
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I don't really have a 10-year plan. I don't even have like a 5-8 year plan. Again, all I have, my 10-year plan, you know what my 10-year plan is? It's 10 separate 365 days. It's like I have today, and then tomorrow I have tomorrow. But like today, I have my plan for today. And I have my big goals, but I know like my goal, part of my big goal right now is like, I want to be the #1 online fitness coach in the world. That's my goal. Like I want to be the #1 online fitness coach in the world. If I work on that goal 365 days a day, 16 hours a day for 10 years, I'm going to get there.
And tomorrow ain't guaranteed, so if you're living day by day and making the best you can out of each day, you're going to create a lot of momentum.
Yeah, I get hit by a bus tomorrow. I mean, it's morbid, but like, you know, you don't, I have people that I knew last year that are going around today. So it's like, all I have is today. My fitness clients, like, you can't worry about your tomorrow. Like, what are you going to do today? Yep. What are you going to do, like, right now? Watch this podcast. Good choice.
Yes. So speaking of watching this, where can everybody find you on social media, or how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so if you click the link below, it's going to be coachriles.com, www.coachriles.com/apply. If you're a man over 30, you want to lose 30 to 50 pounds, the 6 to 10 inches off your waist in 180 days, or I'll coach you for free until you do. coachriles.com/apply is my site, or social media, Riley J. Watkins on Instagram, Facebook, Riley Watkins Fit on Twitter, but Instagram, Facebook are my number 2, my number 1, number 2, and then YouTube, Riley J. Watkins. It's all going to be linked below because Mason's going to hook me up and put all my links below. You're going to be able to go right below, find me, click me, follow me, and if you're somebody who needs to lose weight and you want to lose weight, you're going to be able to work with Coach Riles, and 6 months from today, you're going to be in the best shape of your life. Let's go.
Well, hey guys, this has been the Playbook Podcast with Riley Watkins. Great episode. I appreciate your time today, brother, and I hope you guys enjoyed this one as well.
Let's go.
The next one.